Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Tom. And we're going to be talking about something that only girls can relate to.
No.
I'm a boy. When I was growing up, I had my Hot Wheels cars and my Transformers robots and stuff like that.
Wait, you never had a Ken?
I don't want to talk about Barbie dolls.
Well, there's the Ken doll. You know, he's a guy. You never had a Ken doll?
Ken doll is for the girls, so Barbie can have a boyfriend, okay? No, boys just don't play with dolls, okay? Well, some do, and we're not supposed to make fun of them if they do, just like we're not supposed to make fun of girls if they want to play with cars or stuff like that. But in any case here, we are going to talk about Barbie. That is a famous toy doll that children, especially girls, have loved for many decades. But we're saying that Barbie gets a big makeover in our unit on trends here. A makeover, of course, just means a complete change. She's no longer the same one that she was before. So we're going to talk about this today. It's all about the world of toys.
For many little girls, Barbie dolls are precious childhood companions. However, with her tiny waist, stick-thin legs, and small frame, Barbie has been accused of promoting an unhealthy idea of beauty that is as unrealistic as it is harmful to young and impressionable girls. This criticism is not without merit. In 1963, the doll came with a book entitled How to Lose Weight, containing the instructions, "Don't eat." Furthermore, some anthropologists indicate that with her 85-centimeter chest and 45-centimeter waist, Barbie's body figure would be almost like that of a patient who suffers from anorexia nervosa. In response, Mattel, the maker of Barbie, is taking steps to literally change the image of its iconic doll. In Barbie's biggest update since 1959, the company has released 3 new body types for the dolls: petite, tall, and curvy, one of which replaces Barbie's once skinny frame with wider hips and larger thighs. The new dolls also boast 7 different skin tones and varied facial features. The company hopes the new line will not only promote a healthy and realistic body image, but also reflect more diversity. Mattel's president, Richard Dixon, notes it is imperative that Barbie reflect the real-world girls actually live in. In a time when magazines, runways, and even high-fashion campaigns are embracing plump models, Dixon believes his company also has a responsibility to reflect a broader view of beauty. Certainly, if it were not for these changes, Barbie would run the risk of being cast aside in today's body-positive society. Yet it remains to be seen whether Barbie's recent transformation will be enough to bring it back to fashion.
Okay, we're going to talk about the Barbie doll in today's lesson. Barbie gets a big makeover, a big change in the product here. And let's look at the first paragraph here. It says, "For many little girls, Barbie dolls are precious childhood companions." Precious here just means very, very close to one's heart, very, very valuable, and something you don't make fun of. So yes, indeed, these are very precious. Your pets may be precious to you, your possessions, your children, they're all precious, highly valued, very special to you. And a companion is just somebody who's with you. It could be your wife or your husband, but it could also be your dog or your best friend, etc.
Sure could be. Here we're talking about Barbie dolls. The Barbie is described here in the next sentence. She's got a tiny waist, which means really, really small. Stick-thin legs. Her legs almost look like sticks. They're just straight up and down, and they're very skinny. And she has a small frame. Your frame refers to your skeleton and kind of the structure of your body. I grew up and my mom always used to say, "Oh, I have big bones." I have very small bones, but my mom was a bigger woman. She was taller than me too. If you have a small frame, you have little bones and, you wear tiny sizes. Well, this is Barbie, and that's what she looks like. like. And it says here, Barbie has been accused of promoting an unhealthy idea of beauty that's kind of unrealistic, and it hurts girls as they're growing up. If you're accused of something, someone says, hey, you did this. They point their finger at you and say you're guilty of doing something wrong. Promoting means you encourage something. Now, if you're in business and you promote a product, it means you're kind of advertising its good qualities. You want people to buy it. You're encouraging people to see the good points. Now, if you're promoting an idea, and here it looks like Barbie's promoting this idea that you're only beautiful if you're really tall, you've got a tiny waist, you're very skinny, and you have a tiny frame. That's what beauty means. So it was almost like Barbie, the doll, was promoting this really unhealthy idea because no one looks like Barbie, really.
Yeah, very few people do. And so they've been accused of this. Because you've made that Barbie doll look like that, then all these girls think that they have to look like that too. And they're having problems growing up and stuff. They have mental problems and they have bad self-esteem and stuff like that.
Well, they start eating funny or they don't eat enough. There are lots of little diseases you can get. Yeah, conditions when you start believing you're too fat.
Good. That's Barbie has been accused of that. That's a passive construction there. However, some people say that no, Barbie just reflects the belief in beauty in society itself. They're just reflecting what people think is beautiful. So you'll have to debate that amongst yourselves, who's actually to blame for this. But this criticism is not without merit. If something is without merit, that means it has no case. You can't use it as an argument. It's an empty argument. But we're saying this criticism has merit. It's not without merit. This is kind of tricky because we're using a double negative here, not without merit, which means it has merit. It is legitimate. It is a good argument, and it could very well be true.
Yeah, so merit actually means being really good or worthy, deserving praise or reward. Here we're saying it does. It kind of has some, something that you need to pay attention to here. It was, I guess the doll came out in 1963, which I thought the doll was around longer than that. It came with a book. If you bought Barbie, you got the book called How to Lose Weight. So little girls who had Barbie dolls also got an instruction manual for their Barbie, although Barbies don't eat food. And it had these instructions inside this little manual or book. And it just said, don't eat. That's a good way to lose weight. Just don't eat. It's craziness. You can get instructions for lots of things. You'll get instruction manuals if you buy something, say from the store IKEA that sells furniture that you have to put together. We hate that. They'll give you an instruction manual or a sheet of instructions.
That are all just pictures, by the way.
Yeah.
With some instructions in different languages. I think the IKEA instruction sheets have it in like maybe 8 or 10 languages or so. Mostly they use the pictures here. But again, if you bought this doll in 1963, at least the 1963 edition of the doll, you got a book. And the book was entitled How to Lose Weight. And it gave you instructions. Don't eat. That's pretty simple there. I don't think that doctors and people nowadays think that's the best way to lose weight. You have to control your diet and stuff. You can't just fast because your body knows that you lost the weight and you'll get it right back and stuff like that. And furthermore, or in addition, some anthropologists indicate that with her 85-centimeter chest and 45-centimeter waist, Barbie's body figure would be almost like that of a patient who suffers from anorexia nervosa. That is a certain kind of condition that some people get when they think they're too fat or something and they just don't eat. I'm sure most of you have heard of the Carpenters before. The singer Karen Carpenter actually died from this problem, anorexia nervosa. It's real. These girls aren't just imagining things. They actually are afflicted with this. And they say that this Barbie here with the 85-centimeter waist or 33 inches and 45-centimeter waist or 17 inches, that means that if she were a real person, she would be suffering from this disease. She would be much too skinny and she probably wouldn't live very long.
Now, in response, Mattel, that's the company that actually created Barbie. Here we're describing Mattel as being the maker of Barbie. They're taking steps to literally change the image of its iconic doll. If something's iconic, it's famous and represents something. So here we're saying Barbie is iconic doll because it represents children growing up and just fun. I loved Barbie dolls growing up. I'll be honest. I thought they were really cute. Of course, you know, I knew that the Barbie doll had a crazy body because no one I knew as a child looked like that.
She was pretty busty, wasn't she?
Well, you can't have a waist that is that small. That's impossible.
Yeah,
no one has a waist like that.
Yeah, even that looks gross to some men in real women. But in any case, they're taking steps to literally, not figuratively, but literally change the image of this iconic doll. Iconic just means it's sort of something that represents the company here, and Barbie has become an icon. She represents culture and time and stuff like that. So they're going to make some changes with the Barbie doll. In Barbie's biggest update since 1959, the company has released 3 new body types for the dolls: petite, tall, and curvy. And one of which replaces Barbie's once skinny frame with wider hips and larger thighs. So I guess they have 3 editions of Barbie, at least 3 here.
Yeah.
We've got petite, which is pretty small, you know, like a woman is only like 5'2", 5'4", something like that. Or they've got tall Barbie dolls who could be 5'8", 5'10", maybe 6 feet tall or something like that. And also curvy here, which oftentimes, if you're using this word to describe a woman's body, that means she has lots of curves. She has large breasts and nice hips, and they're all in a good ratio here. But I think here they're talking about her being a little fatter.
Yeah, probably. Curvy is a more pleasing sounding word than, say, fat or stout or some plump. Plump's another word. Curvy. Curvy is very popular these days for describing more bigger framed women, especially the models who are modeling bigger clothes sizes. Curvy. So they're going to be replacing Barbie's once skinny frame with some different looking girls. Petite means short, right? Tall. We'll still have our tall girls, and curvy, just to be a little bit bigger. The new dolls also boast 7 different skin tones and varied facial features. If you boast something, the way this boast, the verb is being used, just means it has something that's pretty good, has a great quality. So it's going to have 7 different skin tones for girls all over the world who say, oh, Barbie doesn't look like me. Now Barbie's going to look like a lot of little girls, which is great news, I think. Right now, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We are going to listen to our Chinese teacher and then come back, continue talking about Barbie's makeover.
Hello everyone, my name is Tina. 今天我们要谈论的主题就是 Barbie dolls 跟芭比娃娃有关。第一个空格的句子呢，我们前面提到说呢，她的腰很细，有竹竿一般的双腿，还有娇小的骨架。逗号后面写着Barbie has been blank one of promoting an unhealthy idea of beauty that is as unrealistic as it is harmful to young and impressionable girls. 在这里呢，正因为他有这样的形象，所以怎么样呢？他似乎就在推广一种很不健康的美，而这样子不健康的美呢，不仅是不切实际，也对一些年幼甚至是比较敏感的女孩是会造成伤害的。我们来看一下第一题的4个选项。A. Composed 由什么组成？ B. Relieved 松了一口气。C. Disposed 处理配置。D. Accused 被控诉。所以正因为呢，它有这样子呢，不太适当的一种骨架，配合它的纤细的腰以及很细的腿呢，似乎一直以来它就被控是在提倡一种不健康美的想法。所以搭配文意，第一题我们标准答案就选择 D. Accused。为什么会有这样的想法呢？因为这个芭比娃娃呢，可能跟减重的书籍有关。那么第二个空格是一个语气转成词，后面连接的句子写着 Some anthropologists indicate that with her 85 centimeter chest and 45 cm waist, Barbie's body figure would be almost like that of a patient who suffers from anorexia nervosa.其实人类学家指出，她这样子的身材呢，似乎就像是一个患有厌食症病患的人才会有的身材。那么以这样子的句意，再搭配前面芭比娃娃的形象，常常是跟减重有关系，前后两句都在讲呢，是同样的事情。那么我们来看一下，应该放怎么样的转成词。第二题 A 选项 furthermore 再者 B nevertheless 然而 C instead 取而代之 D consequently 解释成为因此。那么在这里我们可以选择 A furthermore 前面说的某样一点，后面再提类似的点，然后相同的东西，我们就可以选择转成词。所以第二题的标准答案就选择 A 选项。而呢，当然咯，这家玩具公司 Mattel 它也意识到了这样子的状况，所以做了一些更新。我们来看一下第三个空格，从 The Company 开始。The company has released 3 new body types for the dolls, petite, tall, and curvy.Blank 3这3款有娇小、高挑跟曲线玲珑，这里我们可以选择怎么样的选项呢？当然咯，如果要连接前面完整的句子跟后面又是一个有主词跟动词 replaces， 我们需要的是一个连接词，但是前后句子其实是有相关联系，我们就可以选择关系代名词。所以第三题的标准答案可以选择的是one of which， 而其中3款当中有1款就代替了呢这种比较过去极瘦的骨架。
We're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, everybody, we're now going to continue with our lesson. Again, we're talking about the Barbie dolls, and they're going to get a big makeover. Where we left off, we're talking about them coming out with some new body types for the dolls, different editions of the Barbie doll for you to choose from. She's going to be petite, which is kind of small, kind of short. We have a tall one, which is tall. That's pretty self-explanatory. And curvy, which means she's going to have curvy hips and thighs. Thighs, of course, are the upper legs down there. And the new dolls also have different skin tones, as we mentioned before we took our break here. Different complexion, you could say. Caucasians, we've got Africans, we've got Middle Eastern people, we've got people here in Asia, in India. They've probably got all these different kinds of skin tones represented, and also different facial features. Of course, as you know, different races around the world have different kinds of eyes, different kinds of noses, different kinds of cheekbones, etc. So their new models here are going to reflect the diversity of the world, and the company hopes the new line will not only promote a healthy and realistic body image, but also reflect more diversity. Indeed, I guess in the past they only had the white dolls, but I remember different editions. This is not the first time they've done this, but I guess this one just includes one that's a little more plump.
Yeah, you could say that. Mattel's president, Richard Dixon, he notes, or he says, he wants to point out that it's imperative that Barbie reflect the real world that the girls actually live in. You know, it needs to look like the world around the little girls who are playing with those dolls. If something's imperative, it's very, very important that something be done or something happen. It's imperative. It's vital. It's crucial. Those are 2 other adjectives you could use there. So he just wants Barbies to look like the world around them. Again, Barbies need to look more realistic, is what we're saying.
To reflect the actual population of the world. And yes, they want Barbie to reflect the real world that girls actually live in. And in a time when magazines, runways, and even high fashion campaigns are embracing plump models. Dixon, of course, the head guy at Mattel here, he believes that his company also has a responsibility to reflect a broader view of beauty. In other words, they shouldn't just have their doll represent one kind of beauty. They have a responsibility to show different kinds of beauty. Yes, beauty is not just some blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman. Beauty comes in many different forms wherever you go in the world, okay? I happen to think Indian women are the most beautiful women in the world, but that's my own personal opinion here. But in any case here, indeed, we're going to go back here and talk about some of these places that show us beauty. We've got magazines. Of course, we've got cover girls that tell us and kind of give us the indication of what beauty is. We've also got runways, which is a fashion show. Basically, the ladies are showing off the latest fashions in Paris or Milan or whatever, or Tokyo for that matter.
And those really are the thinnest women in the world.
Yeah.
They actually are a little sickly. They're so thin.
I can't watch those. It's just so gross. It's like watching an African famine show or something like that.
They do look like they're starving. It's true.
Indeed. And also we've got these high fashion campaigns. A campaign is a series of events. It could be an advertising campaign. It could be YouTube videos or something like that. Nowadays, instead of just showing those skinny, blonde Caucasian women, we've got plump models in different races. Plump is a polite word for a woman who is overweight, or a man for that matter.
Yeah, fat. But again, I think more than plump models, you'll see the term curvy. Oh, she's a curvy model, or a plus model, P-L-U-S, a plus model. Plus sizes,
Sounds
like
good.
extra large, things like that. Dixon, the president, believes his company just needs to reflect that broader view of beauty, not just a narrow view of what some people used to think was beautiful. Now, certainly, if it were not for these images or changes, if it were not for these changes that they're making at Mattel to Barbie, Barbie could run or would run the risk of being cast aside. When you cast something aside, you just kind of toss it from you. I know that some guys or girls out there have been cast aside by their boyfriend or girlfriend. It's a hard time in life, I know.
Especially the first time you break up with your girlfriend or boyfriend. So, yes, indeed, if Barbie continued to be the way she was, it would probably lose its sales margin, its marketability. It would disappear, and Mattel would probably go bankrupt. So, of course, they have to reflect these new changes and these new attitudes.
Yeah, so they're looking for a body-positive image. That's what we hear about a lot these days. You don't have to be skinny. You don't have to have a certain kind of look or hair or color to be beautiful. You just need to be positive about what you look like and your beauty and what you bring to the world. It remains to be seen whether Barbie's recent transformation, her complete change, that's what a transformation is, will be enough to bring it back to fashion. Notice we say, yet it remains. So we don't know what the result is really going to be. We're going to have to wait a little while and see if, customers really respond to these new Barbies and the new look of the Barbies. It's going to be interesting. Now, Tom, you have a daughter.
Yeah.
She's a teenager. Did she play with Barbie dolls when she was growing up?
I don't really remember. I don't think so. Well, maybe she did. I don't know. She went through so many toys. I've kind of lost track of them. But I can remember my sister, when I was growing up, she did not play with a Barbie doll. She played with a PJ doll, which was another doll produced by the Mattel company. But I think it's long, gone. It probably just came.
I haven't heard of the PJ doll.
Yeah, she even had a record that came with the doll. Hey there, PJ girl, or something like that. She used to play that all the time. And even though I kind of got sick of hearing it, that's a girl song or something. It still was a catchy tune.
Let me ask you, was this PJ doll wearing pajamas?
That's a good question. I don't think so, but I think that like a lot of those dolls, you could buy their outfits too, and probably one of those outfits included some pajamas or PJs. today. And I'm also curious as to what the sales are going to be like, if those new changes will actually reflect the world population demographics, okay? For example, if there are proportionately the same number of Barbie dolls sold in different countries representing those races and things like that, or if they still gravitate or still tend to buy Barbie dolls of the original style or some other style, who knows? But in any case, it's something worth keeping track of, and we've had such a great time introducing the subject to you today. I can't wait to talk about it again in the future. Right now, we're going to listen once again to our Chinese teacher.
接着第4个空格的句子提到 The company hopes the new line will not only promote a healthy and realistic body image, but also reflect more blank for. 当然这个新的生产线呢，不仅可以提倡比较健康又符合实际情况的身体的形象，那么也希望能够反映出更多的什么。那么第4题 A 选项 accuracy 准确B. Diversity 多样性 C. Patience 耐心 D. Prejudice 偏见刚刚提到有胖瘦也有娇小也有很高挑的，所以强调的是它的多样性，所以第4题根据文意标准答案就选择 B 选项。第5个空格这里提到呢，这个 Mattel's President Richard Dixon notes it is imperative that Barbie blank 5 the real world girls actually live in. 他的呢总裁就指出，这个芭比呢一定要能够反映真实的世界。在这里的关键字词是形容词 imperative， 代表着是极其重要的。这里的句型是 It is imperative that 再加上主词，而且有一个助动词 should 被省略掉了，表示应该要这么做，因为这件事情非常的重要。所以尽管 that 后面是第3人称单数的 Barbie， 因为 should 省略掉，所以第5题还是要选择原形动词的 B 选项 reflect。第6个空格的句子提到 In a time when magazines, runways, and even high fashion campaigns are blank 6 plump models. 那么呢，你可以看到现在不管是杂志或者是模特儿的伸展舞台，甚至是高级的时尚活动，我们都看到他们对于这些所谓的 plump models 丰腴的模特儿展现的是怎么样的态度呢？第6题 A. Embracing 有拥抱欣然接受的意思 B. Forbidding 禁止 C. Investing 投资 D. Isolating 隔绝其实呢现在都可以接受这些比较丰腴的模特儿，所以搭配文意第6题我们答案就选择 A. Embracing。第7个空格 Certainly, if it were not for these changes, Barbie blank 7 the risk of being cast aside in today's body-positive society. 当然这些玩具公司也要跟着时代来做改变，因为如果不改变，它要冒的危险就是呢被大家所摒除在外。在这里呢是与现在事实相反，所以呢用的是过去式的助动词再加原形动词，所以第7题的标准答案我们就选择 D would run。 以上就是今天的课文讲解，谢谢收听。
Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and make sure you join us again next time for another edition of English Digest. From all of us here, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.